Hi, good before me, Doug, everyone. My name is Swagari Jane. It's my artist name, but Helene, as people call me. And the problem or my aims why I am live now is because I want to address the issues of singlehood. Because one, I was raised by a single parent. And I want the society, the nations, and the world to understand that singlehood, to be raised by a single parent, to be in a single relationship, it's not a weakness. It's a situation that anyone can meet him or herself in, because many children, many single parents, they have suffered because of this status. I myself, as I said, I have so many life experience about this. My father died when at my tender age, and my mother, as a normal African family, we were many, and our mother was left alone. And she was very young. She was very young. And the way people in my society, especially men, the way they took my mother, I grew up in a kind of bitterness. I was bitter about it. To be sincere, I was bitter the whole of my life. And I decided when I grow up, I'll do something about it, because I want the society to understand. Anyone, there are so many ways, and we are going to look at them all. In my next episode, I'm going to start with one way on how you can meet yourself in a singlehood family, in a singlehood relationship. But today, I want to give you my experience of the things that I experienced as a child and the things that I have experienced now. I am a single mother of two. To start with, as I mentioned earlier, my father died. My mother was like 40 plus. She was young. And by then, the men they had control of women. There was no women, they had no freedom like today in my country of origin, Kenya. And so, despite my father was dead, men in my society, especially the close relationship, the close relatives of my father, they wanted to step in and be the controller of my mother, simply because my father had died. That one, I had so many questions about it, because these men, they had their own family. My father had a brother, in fact. And to make the matter worse, I had a question the whole of my life until one day, 2016, before my mother passed away. I confronted my young mother sister, and I asked her, I want to know today why my father, brother, and my mother did not come into good terms. And she told me clearly, when your father died, your father, brother, he wanted to take your mother as the wife. But your grandmother, she stand as a woman. My grandmother, I thank her for that because she stood strong and she said, my daughter cannot be done like this. You can take your children and you bring them up, and I take my daughter back. And because we are many, no man dared to take us. And it's ended like that. And they live the whole life until he's the one that died before my mother. The grudge was there. I could not understand why the man hated my mother so much. And there are so many things I can tell from my life experience. Like my mother, when my brothers grew up, this is another story that is irritating. Those men, they incited my brothers. And my brothers, they started insulting my mother. Like the case we saw another day in Kenya. In 2020, people daring to tell women that they have to go back to the traditions and be circumcised in 2020. I can imagine now. I am a mother of two sons. My sons telling me, Mom, you know what? We need you circumcised. Women of those days, I'm not quite sure, but most of them, they are circumcised. So my question is, if they didn't respect my mother, and probably she was circumcised, well, that's the questions why I quitted and I decided to marry a man who will respect me despite of my circumcision or whether I'm circumcised or not. Because I grew up with that. If these men are treating my mother like that, will I be treated the same? Will it become good or worse for my life? And I was a lady who wanted to make choice of herself. I did not like any man to sit on my head and to decide the way they decided for my mother. You can imagine your own son. I remember one day, my brother, he insulted my mother. And we were in the garden working. My mother came and told us, I am leaving. We had to leave everything we were doing and to go to get another woman. My mother friend, she was living just nearby in order to tackle this problem because we were wondering, when my mother left, who would take care of us? No one was there to take care of us. And by good luck, the woman managed to convince my mother to stay. And the drama continued the whole of my mother's life. And that's some of the reasons why we had to take our mother away from that village. Because there were so many things that were happening. Myself, I was beaten by a neighbor simply because I said that his son had stolen he had managed to come in our kitchen and took some things. That man tied me around a tree, and the whole of my life I had problem. Every time I saw that man, I remembered the way he beat me, and I was like a teenager girl. You can imagine beating a teenager girl, how shameful it is. And to make the matter worse, things that annoyed me, his daughter keep on telling me, my father You were beaten by my father. You were beaten by my father. And I could think some of these things we were experiencing as a family. If my father was there, it could not be happening. That was my thought. Now, to make the matter worse, even today, both in developed and undeveloped countries, men, women, and children, they are being treated unfair because of their status. Children, they are treated by other children. Today we have seen children mobbing one another for silly things. Women being discriminated and untreated fairly simply because she's a single lady. Men treated badly too because they are single fathers. I want to tell the world that a singlehood life is just a status. The way you can be jobless today and tomorrow you get a job. To be single, it doesn't mean that you have a weakness. Some people, they have made themselves in that status. For example, children. Probably your parents got married, they got you, and then something happened with their relationship. You end up being a single parent with or without children. As I say, there are so many ways, and we are going to look at them of becoming single. And the simplest one is that you made yourself, you made a choice. Those ones, and that one I'm not going to go deeper about it. I am so much concerned about single status, which happen due to divorce, separation. That's my area I want to address the world to, because that is the area that affected the life of so many people. Many people have suffered severely because of their status. When I got married, I didn't know that my marriage won't last for long. No one gets married. In fact, how can you manage to spend thousands of money for a thing that you know that it won't last long? How could I dare? Even to leave my country, my own country, to come to Europe to marry, and then with an extension that, and with an intention, that I'll divorce. But things happen. I was married for 7 years and we got children. We have 2 children with my ex-husband. But the divorce of Western countries, you cannot compare it with African divorce. When the next topic we are going to look about, we are going to go deeper with this topic until we see how different societies, they treat different singlehood people. We are going to look at this kind of problem in a sociological manner. Although I'm going to mention some of the Bible verses to support, but I wanted to look it in a sociological manner so that people can understand, because my aim and my goal is to change the world, the way they see single people, singlehood life is. I want to open people's eyes because now I'm there. I am a single mother of two. And as I said, I was married for good 7 years and we lived very happily. What happened between us, I won't go into detail what happened between I and my ex-husband. But as you had as you do hear, most of the people that have divorced, let me use divorce because that's what I applied divorce when I could not take it anymore. Divorce is caused by minor things, these things that you ignore. You think that this thing cannot mean a lot to another person. But don't be cheated. Not the mighty things that made people to divorce. In fact, the minor things is the one that make people to feel that this person is less concerned. There is no love in this relationship, according to how your partner behave or treat you. And according to psychologists, a woman love you and love you with all her heart and all she has. But that love, the moment you end, it you take the same line. She'll hate you with all her heart and with all that she has. Me, it reached a point before I made my decision to divorce. When I was at home with my children, I was so happy. The moment my husband got in that house, I changed and I became a monster. And he started realizing that something is wrong somewhere. And I told you, I did, by the way, to be sincere, before I divorced that man in 2017, you can count 4 years back. That's the first time I saw a red flag. And the word I uttered, but I could keep on telling him. But he didn't take me serious. He thought I was joking. So sometimes it's good to take people serious. And when you see someone telling you something, not once, not twice, so many people they ignore and they say, women are like that, men are like that. Every time they say they'll kill, every time they say, I'm going to divorce you, every time they say, I'm going to do like this. When you hear someone repeating one thing on and on, take it seriously. You may think as that person is joking, but you'll be shocked. You are the one that was joking. So it's good to take things seriously. Even parents, learn yourself to take your children seriously. The children that we are raising today, it's not like us that we could get annoyed and say that we are going to do like this, and we could not manage. Hey, today, when a child tell you, I think I'm going to commit suicide, if you don't take it seriously, you'll be shocked when you be called when your son or your daughter is hanging there. So be serious with everything in life, because people have been serious than ever. For today, people are educated. The reasons why our grandmother could not divorce, compared to a grandmother who was living in Europe, Australia, American, all these countries. It's because these grandmothers in these developed countries, they had jobs, but our grandmothers, they were housewives, non-educated. A dowry was paid to maintain you with a man who beat you, who mistreat you, who doesn't take you as a woman, no respect. You don't have even the power over your own body. I don't know. I do hear in Kenya, my country of origin, that there is a rule that can take a woman. I don't know whether it's in jail or where it can take you. And you are broken if you don't. Men can sue you because of conjugal right. Me, I could have been. I don't know how if I could have been jailed. How many? Because 1 year before I divorced my husband completely, I had divorced him sexually. I felt like I cannot not even take you no more. And I shifted from his bed and I went and I started sleeping in another room. You can imagine now, if it's in Kenya and the moment we were doing divorce in those courts, probably I could have been sued and the judge could have said, you need to pay this man 1 million for denying him conjugal right for 1 year. You mean, I thank God that I was in Europe. And the time I was divorced, I sued the divorce, sorry. I had so many women, they were concerned about that sexual matter. Has he mistreated you sexually? They were so eager to know. And I was shocked because most of the women, they don't support other women. But I thank those women. My judges I had, the police who came in my house to rescue me, and they were so concerned. Everybody that took his time to listen to me and to understand why I had to make that decision. Because even before my mother died, 2016, of brain cancer, I had told her, my relationship is not working and I'm planning to divorce. And before I made my divorce, because my mother had told my husband, the moment to be done with this lady, bring her back to me. The way I have given you, bring her back to me. I made sure that I told my family and my close friend sister. She knew everything that was going on. So I didn't do it without consulting. I was even, the social government was involved. And that's some of the things that are good. When you get problems in your homes, make sure you get a specialist who can advise you. Because these family members you involve, you call your sister, you call your brother and tell her, oh, my wife, my husband, you are creating problem, my dear friend. They cannot help you. What you do, you create more enmity. I remember that woman. She told me, now, Helen, you look very angry with your ex and his family. But I tell you, this is not lasting for life. The moment your heart will heal, that husband you don't want to see. And because I can see that you love your children to death, you force yourself to love that man for the sake of your children. She didn't mean that I take him back. What she meant, that I have to, this man can never walk out of my life completely because we have children. What will happen, that we have to keep in touch because we have children. We have the matters we must sit and solve concerning our children. I could not manage to separate my children from their family because I could not imagine them to hear what I used to hear. And I was not born out of wedlock. My father died, but I could not have imagined my children hearing what I heard simply because I was raised by a single mother. I thank God because they are father. Even if we are not together, He's there. So no one can dare raise a finger to my children, telling them that you are like this and this. Everyone knows they have a strong mother and a father. Despite we have separated, we are together for the sake of our children. And this one I would like to address women. Because you are the one that knows the pain of giving birth. You can divorce your man because of 1, 2, 3. But remember, a man, especially when you divorce and you have a children, you may not need that man, but your children, they need their father. So you have to be wise. Don't take contact with that man because you want something. Don't take contact with that woman you divorce because you want something from her. No. We keep contact for the sake of our children, for our tomorrow. And you are guilty, by the way, legal and illegally. For you are the one that brought this child into life. You are legal. Is there legal light for the children? And I thank the government of West countries, especially here I live in Scandinavia, because they are very strict when it comes to divorce and their children. They concern too much because they know when two bulls they come into fight, is the glass which is being destroyed. You and your husband, you and your wife, your adult, you can go wherever you want. You have your home. The home these children they knew you have destroyed. You come, I can pack my things and go. My ex-husband can pack his things and go. But where will these children go? The home they knew, it is no longer there. That's why you hear people talking nasty things. That's like, it's like they divorced, it's like not they divorced. Don't get surprised, my dear friend. See me in the street of Nairobi with a white man. If you don't know whether I have remarried, just know that is the man I call the father of my children. And I'm not ashamed to be seen with him because we have children together. And in Scandinavia, no one can say that even if he can remarry or I marry today. The partners that are coming in our lives, they have a problem. They have to sit in this. I always be the first lady of that house. He'll always be the king, despite I remarry or not. And by the way, if I can happen to remarry or he happen to remarry, and we don't get more children, these ones they come in They are wasting their time, my dear. They are wasting their time because all that I've gathered, I cannot allow another woman to inherit. No, 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 no. If I pack nothing from that house, I left that house for the sake of my children. And you are expected to come in there and take control. You will know there is God in heaven. You will know there is God in heaven. Yeah, you will look for a financial stable. He's a financial stable, but you come in financially stable. He's not marrying any Dick and Harry. I'm not looking for any Dick and Harry. Me, by the way, there is nothing dangerous than a woman who have started to pay rent. The house rent. Now I know how to pay my bills. Hey, hello? A woman who know how to pay her bills. Don't joke with that woman. Don't dare. Don't dare. I give respect to every woman that take that step of faith to say enough is enough. I cannot take it more. And you go and you live your own life. Hey, after some years, you start becoming younger. Hey, people, they start looking at you. Hey, by the way, I think that woman, she had a problem. Look at her now. She's so beautiful. I think that man was giving her a headache. Same case to men. You can have a woman. Our mama wanaitangwa wa mama wake baby. They always make noise. They don't even have a job. By the way, if there is a mistake people they do in life, if you are planning to marry, don't marry a jobless person. The risk you can take to marry a jobless woman or a man is someone who have already a career and you have to look job, but careerless, jobless. Before you approach me, my dear friend, make sure you are financially stable like I. Make sure you have a career and a job. Then we can start talking. You can start talking. And I want to address African ladies. You have become so loose. In Scandinavian, there are so tight rules. Now prostitution cannot take place here. Men are going back to Africa to use women. Because you think these people, they have job. They save because they know here they cannot go on the street to buy sex. And when they try, by the way, lure here, it does not cost a woman. A man is the one that going to jail. Because from the beginning they understand woman is there. From the women are weaker beings. They can be cheated. But this cheater is the one who is going to face the law. And that's why they are leaving. Why don't you ask us? Why don't you ask us, our dear sisters? You see me, I'm living here. Why don't they dare face me? Because they know I live here and I know the rules. They just want to come and buy you just the $10 you can imagine. $10 for your body with a stretch. With a stretch. Hey, women, I am talking to you, African ladies. Because I do see you online. My ex-husband do tell me, hey, today I have 200 friend requests. From where? Africa, Asia. African and Asia lady. Can you work and stop thinking that you can use your money? You can use your body to earn your living. we men work like the way the men they work. When you work, even when you have, money is power. There are two things that can give you power. Money is one. Education is another one. When you have those two, you have one of them. Hey, no one can move you on the road. No one. No one can move you on the road. And there is nothing that you fear because you can do it. But when you marry because you sit there and you want a financial stable man, he will control you. He will sit on you. And these parents, by the way, even we have very, very funny parents. They just force you to be married to so and so because he's financially stable. He wants you to marry so and so because she's beautiful. She has a good career. Can you stop parents? Those bullshit. We are in 2021. Let children make their own decision. Whom to marry, who not to marry. Your work as a parent, you can only give advice. By the way, I know you don't know even in West Africa. West countries, sorry. Parents are so concerned. Yes, they cannot make decision, but they tell you. The way you see parents telling you in Africa, don't think that, you think white people, they are so special. This world is equal. That's why you are leaving your culture and tradition to for a non-Western culture. You are so stupid on your head. So stupid. And I don't need an apology. It's good to follow your ways because that way of strange ways. You don't know where it's taking you. Be your own. Me, I like being myself. Do you understand? Being myself. I like it. And I'm so proud to be being myself. Because you'll never be me. I'll never be you. Be yourself. Stand on your own ground. Fight for your light. And make sure you fight for the light of others. Because the Bible tells us, if there are people God listen much, is the fatherless, is the widow. He's the father of fatherless. So when you are blessing that child because he's fatherless, because that child born out of wedlock by your sister, by who and who, you mistreat her because of the status. Her mother is single. Like in Africa, so many people are worried about that. How properties. How long? In which century are you discussing about the properties? I wish someone have died and died with that shaba. Everything you leave it here. No one is taking something on the grave. You go naked, you came naked, and you are going naked. That child did not blink. Even you can die. The Bible tells us God can do something to make your children fatherless, so that they can feel the way you are treating those fatherless, those motherless children. They feel it. God is not a man to lie. Numbers 23:19. Has he said it or done it? No. So don't think nobody knows about tomorrow. Today your children can have a good life, can have a mother and a father. And you are seeing that girl, that woman who is ego. You are seeing her as nothing. Who told you have a guarantee that you live? Who told you that you have a guarantee that your wife cannot die or your husband cannot die? Even you don't have a guarantee whether she can divorce you or leave you. Take life easy. Life is a lesson and it's an unfold book. You cannot lead it. We try to understand life. Take others people the way they are and learn to respect others despite of their status. No one choose to be. Who could not like to be born in these royal families where they have everything? But we see all what we see is being painted. When you enter into that life that you call wonderful and comfortable, you understand. Even these children that are being raised by single mother, and I see if I single fathers and single parents, they see as if, yeah, because you came from a family from one parent. Sometimes you don't have access to some things, and you get annoyed, and you start saying, if I had both parents, I could be having a better life. I thought like that too. There are so many days I've said, if my father is still alive, I don't know whether even I could be in Europe. Doing what? My father was still rich at his age. He had money to buy a car and he was a businessman. So, and my mother lived like that. In fact, I asked my mother so many questions before she died. And that's why because me, I was admiring to be married. And I think that's why the devil took what he knew I loved most, to be married, to have my family. But it's not too late. The devil, you are a liar. For I know God, who is in heaven, who change things, who make things happen. I decided to let it go, and I trust in a God of another chance. Those who will watch after this, share, leave your comment. Until next time, thank you. Be blessed.